Did you know that people can remain stuck at the age they experience the least amount of affection? Do you remember when you felt loved the least? What happened and how did it affect you? Let me explain why and how this can affect you in adulthood. I am Deidré Wallace, a relationship and corporate therapist. The clue is always in the gaze. Point 18. Our children pay a heavy price when we lack a deep understanding that raising children requires the full gaze and presence of parents, their attention via eye contact, play and language, especially during the first 1 to 3, even to 6 years of a child's life. Also, what we say or what we do as parents can have vast repercussions for a child, and many don't always realize that the stage or phase a child may experience needs to be fully processed or worked through. Otherwise, it gets carried forward either into the teenage years or into adulthood, where it can get acted out. Meaning that the teenager or adult could start behaving either consciously, but mostly unconsciously, as if they were still at the age that the trauma or unprocessed stage occurred, even though they may appear older or as adults. But why or how does this happen? A child can get emotionally stuck or frozen at the point that they felt loved the least. This is when usually confusion, shame, or insecurity occurred, when they felt abandoned or betrayed due to perhaps to some kind of trauma or abuse. But it's not always due to a serious abusive trauma. It could be as innocent as what someone said or made a child feel that could cause a child to freeze emotionally, leaving a child feeling bad about itself, which can affect self-worth and confidence. As we grow older, often we hope that something will happen to reverse that moment, that we'll finally be loved or seen differently. But until then, we could continue to act out over and over again, hoping for a different outcome. Except that often, because this occurs unconsciously or subconsciously, the feelings or reactions are not always recognized or even understood. Instead, it becomes an unconscious habit that then gets taken for granted. And we think or just accept that it's just the way we are, so we continue to act out until we stop and take a closer look at what creates the behavior and why we react in certain ways. You may already know that this behavior is called regression, which is when we return to an age that flags up a childhood phase that's become a comfortable habit. And I will address exactly what this means in section 2 that will cover relationships. For the time being, it is suffice to say that from my couple therapy observations, it was clear that we can also act out unresolved issues or attract people with similar unresolved childhood issues, because birds of a feather flock together, and we attract people that we feel comfortable with and who share our emotional or childhood issues. Often this can be unconscious, and it takes time to sometimes understand exactly what the shared issues are. There are tons of scenarios that can occur, leaving someone stuck in an age. And some people aren't even aware that their behavior regresses or they even return to an earlier stage. And often it takes a therapist who is able to point out either an individual's regressive behavior or indeed how the couple may regress together. However, and returning to a parent, it is quite a lot to ask a parent to keep all this in mind, as well as dealing with stress, work, and the high cost of living, their own relationships, and so on. Hopefully, by watching my videos, you will get to understand the various phases important to a child's development. So please subscribe, as all the videos are part of an educational course. And the next video, I explain why some men cheat on their pregnant wives. Plus, and once again, I urge you to head to your journal. You may have thoughts and experiences of your own with regards to this topic. Thank you.